Girls. In the last class, we were discussing about the causes that led to the decline of the Mughal Empire. We discussed two causes: the policies which were followed by Aurangzeb and the weak successors of Aurangzeb. So, we'll continue with the causes. Rivalry among the nobles. Rivalry means conflicts. So, the conflicts which began to rise among the nobles or the ruling class people. The Mughal nobility was divided into three groups: the Iranis, the Turanis, and the Hindustanis. So, the Mughal nobility means the ruling class peoples. The Mughal ruling class society, it was divided into three: the Iranis, the Turanis, and the Hindustanis. There was a struggle for power among these factions. So all these factions, all these three groups, they were in constant struggle. They were in constant fights for power. Each faction tried to win over the emperor and poisoned his ears against the other factions. So each of these groups, each of these factions, they tried to win over. Win over means to impress. So they tried to convince, or they tried to impress the ruler by speaking ill of the other groups. They took over the role of kingmakers and hatched conspiracies to dethrone kings and raise their own favorites to the throne. So these factions, these groups, they considered themselves as the kingmakers. Kingmaker means a person who has a strong influence, who has an influence to choose a leader, to choose a king. So these factions, these group of Mughal nobles, they considered themselves as kingmakers, and they made secret plans to remove kings from their power and to raise their own, and to bring their own favorites, to bring people of their own interest to the throne. The frequent change of rulers caused political instability and weakened the empire. So the system where the Mughal nobles were constantly changing the kings according to their interests, this system led to a political instability. That is, there was no stability. The political condition of the empire was not certain. There was no uncertainty in the political condition, and this led to the weakening of the empire. These nobles were interested in increasing their own power. So the Mughal nobles, they were not interested in the prosperity of the empire. They were only interested in increasing their own power. Even in the face of foreign invasion, the nobles could not forge a united front and often collaborated with the invaders. So there were many foreign invasions, there were many external attacks coming, and even at the time of these foreign invasions, these Mughal nobles, they could not unite themselves. They could not build a united empire, but they often joined hands with the invaders. When the foreign invasions happened, the Mughal nobles, they often joined hands with these invaders, with these attackers. So this is another reason which led to the decline of the Mughal empire, the rivalry or the conflicts which existed among the Mughal nobles. Defective law of succession. The Mughals did not have a law of primogeniture. So the Mughal empire, there was no law of primogeniture. Now what is this primogeniture? It is a law whereby the eldest son would be the rightful successor to the throne. So the primogeniture is a law where the eldest son has exclusive right to the throne, where the eldest son has exclusive right to become the king. So there was no such law among the Mughal empire. Hence, the death of the king was followed by the war of succession among the sons of the dead ruler. Now, since there was no law of primogeniture, the sons of the king, when the king was dead, the sons of the dead king used to there used to be a war of succession. The death of this ruler was followed by a war of succession, where all the sons of the dead ruler would fight for power, would fight for the throne. During the time of the early Mughals, the ablest son of the dying emperor got the throne. But after the death of Aurangzeb, weaker rulers occupied the throne. So, during the time of the early Mughals, that is when the Mughal Empire was a prosperous one, when the Mughal Empire was a very powerful empire, at that time, when a king died, the ablest son, the son which was capable of controlling everything, the son which was the ablest one among them, got the throne. But after the death of Aurangzeb, when the Mughal Empire was started to decline, weaker rulers, they came to power. This was because powerful nobles acted as kingmakers and put the weakest of the princes on the throne to suit their personal interests. So, after the death of Aurangzeb, there were many weaker rulers who came to power, and this was because all the nobles, the Mughal ruling class people, they consider themselves as the king makers. They consider themselves as having the power to select the rulers, and they made the weaker rulers, they made the weaker princes to become the king, so that they could fit into their personal interests, so they could favor from these weaker princes. For example, it were the Said brothers who raised Farrukh Siyar to the throne in 1713 and pulled him down in 1719 when he stopped serving their interests. Now, we had learnt about Farrukh Siyar. He was one of the 9 later Mughals. He was one of the 9 later Mughals. And Farrukh Siyar, he came to power because with the help of the Said brothers, with the help of the Said emperor, with the help of the Said brothers. And later on, when Farrukh Siyar, when he was not willing to serve their interest, he was killed by the Said brothers in 1790. So, this was another reason that led to the decline of the Mughal Empire, the defective law of succession. There was no proper law of succession where the able son of the dead king could come to power. So, this was another cause. So, today we learnt about 2 causes: the rivalry which existed among the nobles and the defective law of succession which existed during after the death of Aurangzeb. So, we'll stop for today, girls. Thank you.